Dum, 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 dum,
Space between, space between, space between. Space between.
What's going on, you guys? It's the Space Between podcast, where we talk about the space between life and art, passion and business, what's happening now, and what's happening next. I'm Pat Shand.
I'm Amy Shand.
And we're here today alone, you guys. What the fuck is going on?
We're spending some time alone on the podcast.
We're
lately.
alone again. No, but yeah,
It's not that we don't enjoy each other's company, but
it's true.
Shannon, where you at?
We do miss Shannon, we miss
Ryan.
Ryan, but yeah, they're both hard at work on their
Yeah.
duties for Space Between, and I do want to just kind of get into what we're doing there first, just as a little update. For those who have backed the Modern Dread Kickstarter, that book has gone to print. We're so excited. That book is compiled, co-written, co-plotted by myself and Ryan Fassett, and that's going to be coming out for all backers, and then after that for all potential future buyers at conventions and on Amazon in June this year. Just a few months. And on Destiny New York 2, we've had a slight delay, but we're back on track right now. Rosie Camping is getting in pages, and we project that will be done late summer this year as well.
Yeah, and as for Clonsters, tomorrow I'm going to do that talk that we were speaking about last episode.
True, but for the listeners here, that will have happened by the time that this episode drops.
Oh yeah, just a quick shout out to
Yeah.
Clonsters. We planned it. We're doing it. It's gonna be super awesome. It was super awesome.
Yeah.
If when you listen, it was super awesome.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that too on the next podcast
Right.
as well, for sure. Yeah, and for those who want to check out Destiny New York, Volume 1 and Clonsters, both are on Amazon right now.
Right.
But yeah, today we're going to talk about something a bit more specific than we usually do. We have an actual topic today.
Kind of, yeah, just because I'm obsessed with it right now and we want to get to y'all weekly and hang out. And so he's like, why don't you talk about this? And I'm like, well, yeah, I could for at least 3 years straight.
So yeah, take it away.
So basically, I was trying to think of like where my obsession stems from. And it's like kind of a mix of a lot of things. I would say that I initially, and the umbrella of my hobbies has to do with collecting and miniatures and character development, like making stories out of the things that I own. So that's why I like have a lot of Legos,
Yes.
which I used to put together, and I have a shelf full of those, and those are mad cute. And I love the little like Dolly Pixie characters that come with the Legos for their like dragons and stuff. I don't even know what they're called, but like the little Lego people that
Sure.
are like fairies. So then I also, the topic today is what we're going to talk about is dolls, and specifically ball jointed dolls,
Yes.
even though I'm like brand new to the quote unquote hobby and the community, because I don't even have one because I want to save up because they're kind of expensive, but they're definitely worth it because, you know, artists create them, handcraft them, just like I
Yeah.
do with the clay and stuff. And so what they are is like, basically if you picture like a kind of like a Barbie doll, but there's different measurements, but each of their joints is movable. And so their knees, their ankles, their elbows, their wrists, sometimes they're one-piece torso, but my favorite's the two-piece torso, so they can even sort of like bend over when they're like, they have a joint in the middle of their torso, like right under the chest,
Yeah.
and then their neck.
So you could put them in like the twerk position.
Right. Well, also, their head is really interesting too, because you can take it off and put a whole new head on there that has the same measurements, which is why there's standard measurements in the ball jointed doll community, and it's like BJD for short.
Yeah.
And so you can mix and match and definitely like customize your dolls in so many ways. And so online there's all these different pictures and stories and little YouTube episodes that have to do with like characters that people have created with these different pieces of the ball jointed dolls. So also you can have like the same character with a different faceplate, because the head is two pieces. There's the
Yeah.
back of the head and the face, and then you can take the wig off and change the wig. So everything is customizable.
The faceplate is what I want to ask you about because just, I mean, I've never been a big toy collector. I mean, as a kid, I love certain toys, but
You love Beanie Babies.
oh my god, I love Beanie Babies so much. But in becoming a writer, specifically a comics writer, there have been times where I wanted to buy the action figures of characters that have been in the novels that I've written, the comics that I've written. And one thing that I've noticed about the Marvel figures is that they often do have two different heads. Where, like, say you have an Iron Man figure, there'll be one where he has a closed mask and one where it's open and you see Tony Stark's face. But I've never seen, until you showed me this with the BJDs, I've never seen a faceplate. That seems unique to this kind of toy, right?
Yeah, I think it is because it's the same face and expression. And it's unique to this because you can get a whole different head, or you can get different faceplate where it looks like, because the eyes are glass and they don't have eyelids where they open and close like a baby doll from Toys R Us. Like when you lay it down, it closes its eyes. It's not like that. But the faceplate makes it so that you can have the same character in several different facial expressions depending on what you're trying to, like, what, emotion you want them to be portraying. So the one that's, like, most common is the open and then the closed eyes, if you want to get that separately. And it's a separate piece, obviously, because it's another, mold and sculpt. And so it's like probably like $40 to $60 extra, depending on the facial expressions. They even have like laughing, winking, little like O-face looking ones, like all excited. Like it's really cute, They have all these different ones. And so, but the most common is like open eyes and closed eyes.
So my question for you is, because I've seen the things that you're looking at in this community change from when you first started looking to now when you're kind of focusing in. Because when you first showed these to me, they were more along the lines of like creepy animalistic kind of ones.
I love those too, yeah.
And now you've kind of focused in on more humanoid creatures.
Yeah, but I'd say the reason for that is because I love the customization, is that right?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Sounds weird when it comes. I'm so tired. We've had a long couple days.
We really have, yeah.
But so I like the little girl-looking ones specifically because they're unique, but they're common because on Etsy and on other websites and things is where I wanted to have the most options as far as outfits and wigs and things that I could buy for them, and even furniture that they could sit in and lay in, so that I wouldn't feel the temptation to have to buy more and more dolls. I could just keep changing the dolls that I would eventually start collecting.
So you could pamper this one toy pretty much.
Exactly, as like a little princess.
That's cool.
Kitty flower. But like, so that's that. But there are very cool looking, unique ones that are like, like anamorphic, where there's even like ones where the top is it looks really cute, like an Enchantimals on top and the bottom's like a centaur. Or my favorites is the one where it looks like a really pretty like pinup lady on the top. The bottom, she had like 8 legs.
Like a spider.
An arachnid.
Yo, like the character in Saga. Do you remember?
Yes.
What is the character's name?
Ooh, I can't think of it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up
while you say this.
But and those are unique, and they're more like exclusive on because so with the community, there's
the stock.
Yes, exactly.
From Saga, the stock.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like. But so there's very popular like companies that are like the legit doll companies that have created a certain mold of doll.
Yeah.
That is so popular that every Etsy posting for like the clothes and stuff has this doll in the clothes.
It's like the standard.
Yeah, but it says like, oh, doll not included. So when I first was like looking this up, like ball jointed doll, trying to see like what I like the best, I'm thinking like, how does every single one of these person have a doll that looks exactly the same? Like, what is this doll? So I started looking at the titles like Lottie doll wig, or like or like vest for Pukife and Lottie. I'm like, what's that? So I Googled that. It turns out those are the companies that are the most popular and the best made dolls that everyone begins their BJD collection when they start not everyone, but it's very common for someone to like get into BJD and like do their research, learn what the best quality doll is, and go to these websites.
So is Pukefe and Lottie doll?
Well, Lottie doll, I believe, is the name of the website that makes those.
Okay.
But Pukafe is a model that comes from a website.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm so lame that I can't remember because I've been looking at all these ones. But let me look it up right now because it's like a website that has all these different models. It even has the like anamorphic ones on there, but one of their specific lines is like these Pookie dolls. And those are the lifelike looking ones.
Sure.
And I like these just a hair. It's different. I'm torn with the Pukafe or Pukifi and the Lottie dolls because the Lotties have such a beautiful face and they're so cute. But so's the Pukafi, but it's a little bit more elfy looking. Okay. But their body is more posable and it has the double joint in the torso and the Lottie doll does not. And I've seen a lot of videos about like posing them. And the Lottie doll seems to be like a little bit harder to stay in positions. And the Pukifi is like a little bit more, not stiff, but I guess like heavier and with a little bit more, the joints are magnetic at the feet and hands too.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's easier.
So between these, the ones that you would want to get is the Pukifi.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down with all of my research to one exact doll because it's so much that when it gets to like Pookie, it's like there's real Pookie, Pukifi, Pookie, and it gets like smaller and smaller and smaller. But the one I want is a Pukifi because of, first of all, the measurements, second of all, the way it looks, and the Pukifi has like all these different characters with different names, like, girl names, so that you know which model exactly you want to get. They all have varying faces. And so I've scrolled through them online, and I've found one that's my dream doll that I really, really want to get.
Yeah, locked down.
Yeah, and her name is, I think it's Auntie. It's Ante, and she's a Pukifi, and that means she's 15 centimeters tall. And there's a bunch of other little details about her, but if you want to Google it, it's the cutest thing, and don't judge me. I always fantasize about like when we have a house to have a little like section where the cats can't get to that has like a really nice doll house where I have really nice like dolls in because I just love collecting nice things. Like when I was little, my grandma helped me start a really nice like porcelain doll collection, and it's a bummer because I don't even know where that is, but I can picture them exactly where they were sitting in my bedroom until I moved out. And so I just have always loved, and remember when I loved those Drabbits a lot?
Oh, sure.
And I still do. They're super cool. Those are like different, but they're cable wire puppets, and they sit on your shoulder, and they just look like little live gremlins, and they have wings and fluff, but they're like clay sculpts, and they're so cute. And when you move the wire, their heads move, and sometimes their wings move and everything, and those are mad cool. So shout out to that.
Yeah, I do want to actually get more into the rabbits too, but first I had a question about the...
Can I say sorry?
Yeah, please.
Pukifi is from dollfairyland.com.
Wait, shout it out again?
Dollfairyland.com. Okay. And they have a bunch of different characters and different, like, I don't know even how to say it, like molds and shapes for their dolls. They even have, like, not even just animalistic, like, people, but they even have BJD, like, animals, like a cat.
Okay.
That has different joints at every
That's
cat
cool.
joint. And I would love to have that in my dollhouse so they could have pets because they're to scale to the dolls.
That's really
smart. And that's how that works.
The one question I had for you about this was about the more anthropomorphic ones. The ones that have like a human face and an animal body. Mm-hmm. My question is like, why are they thick though? Because like these are some sexy ass animals. Like they're
Remember
all like
when I was showing you that bunny that had like, it's a porcelain one, so it's a little bit more unique because the artist because usually they're made from resin.
Yeah.
But artists are making like BJD. I don't want to say BJD-ish because they are BJD, but it's not the standard.
Right.
This one was porcelain, and it was like a straight bunny head that had like kind of like pouty lips and these thick hips. Remember?
I know.
And you said why it's so thick though.
Why it's so thick though?
I just feel, and it's true because like sometimes on the listings and depending on how, I feel like the larger the doll gets, I don't know if I'm right, and I don't want to be like a hater. The more like sexual it gets because the more the sexual organs are mapped out. Like at the 15 centimeter doll, they don't have private parts. You could buy a male head for this and put it on as long as it fit, and then it would be a boy. So it's like with the larger ones getting up to like past 40 centimeters, like I feel like I see the listings and they pose the ladies and they look like real naked ladies posed in sexual positions because you're trying to show off how their joints move.
Right.
And I like used to be and am like a nude model and an art model, so I recognize those poses too. So I'm like, oh, that looks very sexual, you know, like especially like pinup modeling. But
what's really interesting to me is like you, I mean, and no offense to the furry community, like when I told you about them, like pointed them out at conventions, when you're like, what's that? You kind of were surprised that it was a thing. And I think that
I'd like never heard of that.
But there has to be some overlap here.
Everything's
though,
a thing.
There has to be some overlap between those specific kind of dolls.
Yeah, I mean, there are even listings for dolls for sale that are listed as furries.
Oh,
like,
I bet.
It's a female doll, like painted leopard, and it's like a furry. And she has ears and a tail, but she has boobies.
It kind of reminds me of like anime shows. Like I remember Sailor Moon. There were some characters that were just basically like a cat with titties, and
I love those too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. If I had a bunch of money, I would get like every single one that I find attractive. I think they're all so pretty and they're so interesting because what happens is like every single part is separate, and then they run an elastic through it all the way up to the head, and then there it is. It's like it comes to life. But then when you take the elastic out, and you can, because you're changing all the parts and everything, you can lay out all the parts on the table and you can see the artistry of every single part of the sculpt that they did, and everything fits together so perfectly that when you put it together, she moves like a joint. It's very cool.
And that's what makes them unique, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it that one artist does these? Like they're so customized, and that's why they're so expensive?
It's true. I think that maybe in the last like few years it's gotten more in like a business sense. I want to say like they're more like mass producing because this website is very well made, and it's sort of like going to like a store online and ordering, and you have a cart, you know, and you can order like whether or not you want the makeup done and this and that. I feel like there is like some sort of factory company going on.
So the price is because of the quality.
Yes.
All right. And first of all, let's just say we are not sponsored by any of these websites.
I'm just,
the idea for this podcast was that Amy has just been so interested in this recently. And one thing I love about Amy is that she falls down these quote-unquote holes.
Oh, yeah. I get so obsessed.
Yeah, she's been obsessed with, I'd say a handful of things since we've been together. And it's just really cool because in growing up, I would also be obsessed with a specific thing for a long period of time. I found myself moving on from it. With Amy, I feel like she's really good at retaining the knowledge of what she learns. Like, Amy knows so much about alien conspiracy theories, about true crime, about witchcraft, about toys in general, not even just ball joint.
Yeah, we have so much fun at Toys R Us. I was going to say, like, these are all online, but if you're interested in kind of what it is, there are people that do a lot of repaints and stuff of those Monster High dolls because they have joints at their knees and elbows, and that's unique to the toy store.
I like those dolls.
Me too. They're pretty.
They're really cool design.
They're really cool.
I do want to say, just call myself out here, I think that I'm the first person to ever get an in-volume text on this podcast.
True.
That was Twan. But yeah, that was my friend
Shout
Twan.
out to Twan, the homie.
And I didn't turn the volume on my computer off, and my texts go to my computer now. So my bad, you guys.
So anyway, I do want to start my collection, but for now I'm getting down on my Enchantimals collection because they have cute little faces, and they have really nice little pets that come with them. So I have 3 so far. And they're, for now, I mean, you know, sufficing my lust for these dolls that I wish I could pay for. But eventually, I'm going to have a little collection of them. Maybe, like, I want to say, like, 5 or 6. And then they're going to have a little house and a yard. And I'll get some pets for them. And I'll just be a little...
That's so fun.
Right?
That's so fun. And I just want to throw this out there. I did just read the text from Antoine. Mm-hmm. And it's a picture of his schedule for the day. And his wrote down just one thing for today. 3:30 p.m. Dick.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Does he have a friend named Dick?
It has to be a friend named Dick.
Or is he planning out his masturbation?
Or is he planning out on getting some dick? You know, who knows?
Getting some dick.
Yeah, I'm going to bleep out the name here. Just because, like, now that's kind of... But that's so fucking hilarious.
That's so funny.
But yeah, growing up, were you this into toys as well? Like, did you always have a specific kind of toy, or was it more general?
I want to say that it was specific to collecting things more so than toys, because I was really, really into journaling at that point. So I would collect things outside. Like, I would remember, I specifically remember going to one of my brother's, swim practices and having to wait on the grass and being like, wow, these blades of grass are really long. And then picking one from the ground and bringing it back to my journal and taping it in with double-sided tape and then writing a poem about it. Or
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then when we went to Lake Miramar in San Diego and I fell in love with this duck because it was the only duck paying attention to me, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I thought we had a magical bond. So I
And then you put the duck in your journal, just taped it.
No, but I waited around until I saw one of its feathers drop. And I took the feather home and taped it in my journal and wrote about how much I love the duck. So I would collect things all the time, but I don't like with you have toys that are in our closet and bedroom that are well cared for to this day, that you've had since you were a child.
Yes.
And for me, most of my toys are pretty new, except for that weird monkey doll that I have.
Oh, we'll get to that shit. But first, I do want to address this. If you hear some bullshit going on right now, that's our son Neil.
Neil sounds so gross.
Our cat Neil trying to suck his own leg in our laps. Come on, Neely. My God. All right. So I found out by finding it in the bottom of the closet that Amy has what looks to me like a cursed human/monkey doll, and it was one of those things where I was actually scared when I saw it.
It's pretty creepy looking, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like, it's kind of sad to say this, but it looks like if someone fucked a monkey and then had a baby.
Yeah, it's a monkey's body with a generic Cabbage Patch doll's face.
Not
right?
even Cabbage Patch, like a real live infant face.
Yes, yeah.
It has one of those baby alive, trying to look real.
So weird.
Human. But it's hairy. It's very realistic looking, but
It's like the missing link.
Exactly. I was in this place where I loved every kind of baby doll, so I felt like I needed every single kind.
Right.
So I was, when I was younger, so my grandma got that for me, and it's actually fucking $200 doll. Now it's just in the closet.
For real?
Yeah. It's an artist doll.
God damn, yeah, it's...
I'm about to sell that shit on eBay.
No, I mean, I like to have it because it's
If
part of
it
your
makes you
past.
uncomfortable, my love.
It doesn't. As soon as you explain what it was. But it kind of reminded me of a different scary thing that happened to us.
Huh.
I'm very scared of the movie The Ring. Okay?
Right.
And it's been
I'm impressed with how, you said it just now, no big deal.
Right, I think I brought it up
usually a big
before
deal.
on the podcast, but my anxiety is somewhat tied to my fear of dead little girl ghosts, dead little children ghosts. And I was given The Ring DVD as a gift when I was in my teens, and I feel like I've been burdened with it ever since. And one time, our friend Jasmine was over, and oh my God, and she specifically mentioned The Ring, and she was going through our DVD collection, and I said to her, "Do you want that?" And she goes, "Yeah." So I gave her The Ring. I passed it on, because for those who don't know, the concept of The Ring is that it's a haunted videotape, and if you watch it, you'll die in 7 days. Mm-hmm. The only way to not die is to pass the tape on to someone else and have them inherit the curse. So I essentially, years later, had Jasmine inherit my curse. So watch this. Give it to her. I feel this weird burden unlifted. And I know it's ridiculous. It's a silly story, but...
It was just an internal burden.
Yeah.
Relief.
It's not ruining my life, but I felt it isn't here anymore. And then one day, very soon after, I returned, and Amy and I were going to watch a movie, and I was going through the shelf, and there the fucking Ring is. A horror movie, it's back. And I freaked out. I was like, Amy, do you see this?
Copies?
No. You told me what happened. I was like, Amy, do you see this? And you said, oh, yeah. Jazzy's friend, who's also our friend, Danny saw it in the house, didn't want it, and had Jazzy give it back to us. So there it was. And now, from where we're sitting, we can see it right now. It's
Yep.
still here. So if
I'm
any of
looking at
you,
it right fucking now.
if any of you want to come by and pick up this DVD and unburden us, it's
Please
yours. It's yours. But yeah, I mean, as a kid, like you mentioned before, I was very into Beanie Babies, but I was never much into dolls and toys and stuff as far as figures. But it's really cool to see what you've been doing with them, because I feel like what you're doing is like a mix of both the collector side of you and the creative side of you.
That's true. And also, I'm learning from other people because I found a couple channels on YouTube that I really like, because you and we both really like following people on YouTube, because I think vlogging is really cool and it's fun.
We probably will start a vlog soon.
Yeah, that would be
We've recorded some footage
couple
for a vlog.
things so far.
Yeah, and in fact, we're I'm not gonna go into this, but we're in a situation I feel that if we vlogged would instantly go viral.
Oh my god.
But we're gonna limit the
Fucking
vlog
A.
because we like to put a lot of ourselves out there. So considering we have a podcast now, we're gonna be doing a vlog, and we're very open on social
You
media.
guys were friends, right?
Yeah, we're considering like how much of ourselves to show, in general and tell. But yeah, we're gonna have a vlog. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm not sure exactly how interesting as far as this topic goes, and none of you know what the fuck we're talking about. But
Y'all aren't ready.
But no, y'all are not fucking ready. But either way, it's gonna be a fun vlog. We're gonna be going on toy store trips, eating fast
what
food,
was I even saying?
everything. Who knows? We just got we're like giddy right now because we've had quite a week.
Oh god.
But yeah, all right. So we have a question today, but before that, I just want to say, do you want to cover anything else about BJDs? Do you want to shout
I
anybody
was
out?
literally in the middle of a sentence, but following people online. Just want to say really quick.
Yes.
There are other people online that are super into collecting and that I'm like jealous because they have a bunch of cool stuff already. So I just like watch them and vicariously live through them now. There's people that they take their dolls and they make characters out of them, make connections from one to the other, just how I do with Clonsters before I even knew these existed,
Right.
and make little cutesy videos and stuff, and I follow them just like I would a TV show. And I think that's really fun, and I'd love to do that on the vlog too, and like add it in, because the first doll that I'm planning on getting in the collection has quite a story to her. So
That's cool. Imagine you did like a stop motion animation show. That'd be so fun.
I have a friend he's new, but there's this kid at work who actually does stop motion clay stuff.
Which one?
On the side.
Ooh.
Are you gonna bleep it?
Yeah. Okay. Wait, why would I bleep that?
Oh, because I don't know privacy and shit.
I guess, yeah.
But does like claymation stuff. He was telling me as soon as he heard that I did Clonsters.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, you work with clay? He's like, me too. I do claymation stuff at school. I'm like, oh, that's sick, man.
That is cool.
Yeah, but I was thinking with that's why I haven't talked to him about it, because with Clonsters, they don't have too many joints. They're cute little like pocket nuggets.
Right.
But with the BJDs, it would be really cool.
That would be cool.
So yeah.
All right, so are we
Question
good on this
time.
topic? Question time? All right. So, we have one question, and I'm not sure how good of an answer I'm going to give here because this is like not quite my scene, but I've done some research and I'm going to try to just dive in. All right. Eric Thomas writes, I'm going to be editing a novel I've been working on soon, and after that I'll be looking for feedback. Are there any good non-Tumblr or non-deviant art online communities for writers to get feedback/critique that I'd recommend? Okay, so first of all, here's where I am. I can't specifically recommend any online community because while I've done research and I've seen some good things about some, I haven't experienced this, so I can't really give you my specific recommendation there. But what I'll say is this. I have connected with people solo online. I think that there's such a great community on social media specifically now where you can find other writers, either friends or just people that you meet online, and you begin to be writing partners in a way that you can read their manuscripts and they can look over your edits. And I think that my overall take is that one-on-one is usually better than an online group, because with online stuff, it tends to, with the amount of people who want this, it can get kind of fogged up, I think. But with a one-on-one communication where you're specifically helping one person and they're helping you back, I think that can be great. But that said, there is no replacing a writer's group in person. I've been in 3, and they were all transformative. They were so good for me. They were so important to my growth as a writer. And I don't know. And again, I'm speaking from a place where I haven't been a part of any online communities, but I don't know if or how any online community can replace that. So my advice is that I don't have a great answer for you, but my answer is if you can find one person online that you can connect with to exchange notes and to be like your writer, day one, down ass friend, I think that's a great idea. But it's also a very good idea to seek out writers groups in person. And there are so many ways to do that. You can go on meetups. There are apps and websites where you can meet up with people. And I'm sure that there are apps specifically for writing communities as well. So all I would say is do your research. Don't feel specifically tied to a community as soon as you join. Just check it out. I can't give any solid recommendations, but that is my best advice there.
Nice. Is there any like Facebook groups or anything for writers or
totally
exchanging notes and stuff like that? Because every time I get obsessed with something, I go straight to Facebook and look for groups because I love talking to real people all around the country about the same hobby as not, like anything that I'm interested in, because they always have, speaking of, like rat keeping or anything like that. So maybe if there was like a cool group on Facebook as far as like people who are all trying to get the same thing as you, I don't know what it would be called, but maybe you could find something like that where there's like people online,
I think that's
sharing comments and shit. Like,
I think that's a great idea.
Posting their stuff just as a status and being like, hey, what do you think? Right.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And I think I think that if you combine our two advices, if you look for Facebook groups, which I know that Amy has had a great experience with.
Yeah.
You obviously can't post a full novel on Facebook.
Reddit.
But it will be a great way to connect with someone, right? Mm-hmm. If you can go on Facebook and just fill out a community there, a group there, that will give you a chance to connect with individuals. Yeah. And I think that could be great.
That's even how I find people to do ritual with on like full moons and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can find people that are kind of like around even, So it's like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking
hell
right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fucking right.
Love you.
I love you too. Amy and I,
we re-fell in love this week.
Yeah, we were never out of love.
Like deeper.
But we fell deeper in our already deep entrenched love.
Like how, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we didn't think it was possible.
No. And you know what? We're being so vague to our listeners, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
But we've just had quite a week, and we're just happy to be here with you on the podcast. We love bringing this show to you, and we love that we can talk about anything here, and that we have a base of viewers we're definitely hoping to grow. But we also just want to thank all of you for rocking out with us, because we know that we aren't like quite consistent in our lineup. It's always me and Amy, sometimes Shannon, sometimes Ryan, sometimes a guest, and we're definitely going to be bringing more guests. And we hope that as we switch things up and keep like jumping from topic to topic, that you'll stick with us, because we think this is super fun.
Yeah, I love it here.
Me too. And we're going to be wrapping up now, but just look out for our vlog.
Right.
That's going to be coming soon-ish.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I mean, are you good on this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. This has been the Space Between Podcasts. Our theme music is written by Amy Shand. You can listen to us on iTunes, the podcast app, SoundCloud, or eventually, when I stop fucking up, YouTube. Follow our social media at Space Between Ent on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Eventually Snapchat too. If you want to have your questions answered, hit us up there or email us at spacebetweenent@gmail.com. If you want to sponsor us and give us your money and or 36 fucking racks of Coke, we're down to talk about how awesome Coke is. Either the drug, which we can sell, we're not going to do that.
What is he
I'm talking about the beverage, the
Coca-Cola,
the sweet beverage. We're not going to buy or sell your Coke. Thank you for listening, and bye, you guys.